Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho make history during FA Cup final for Man United. They join Cristiano Ronaldo. Manchester United lifted the FA Cup on Saturday against Manchester City, as Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo make history. It was the greatest moment Manchester United fans will have seen in a decade. To defeat the cross-city rivals at Wembley and lift the FA Cup is truly special. The special moment came courtesy of a perfect game plan from Erik and goals from his two spectacular wonderkids. Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho scored the two goals for United and left City speechless. In doing so, the pair made history and broke a few records too. Here's what happened when United's two 19-year-olds scored. Garnacho and Mainoo joined two Manchester United legends in history books. United had a dream start at Wembley on Saturday afternoon, scoring twice in the first half and limiting City to barely a sniff. With Garnacho and Mainoo scoring, they joined Cristiano Ronaldo, 2004, and Norman Whiteside, 1983, as the third and fourth teenagers to score in the final for United. The goals from Garnacho and Mainoo saw United break a record as being the first time that two different teenagers have scored in a final, which demonstrates just how special these two are. For Mainoo, there was another history-making moment as he broke a 60-year record, becoming the youngest Englishman to score in the final since West Ham's John Sissons in 1964. Garnacho and Mainoo are the future of this football club. Despite an underwhelming campaign as a whole, United have two glowing positives in the form of Garnacho and Mainoo. The teenage pair have been utterly immense for their age, and when it mattered most, they stepped up and scored the two United goals in the final to bring that trophy home to Old Trafford. These two youngsters are special and are quite clearly the future of the club as Carrington does it again. As a fanbase, we are blessed that these two will be on show under the lights at the Theatre of Dreams for years to come. This result is the start of their era, and it could be one which brings the club back to where it belongs. Don't waste your time. Paul Scholes has a message for those comparing him to Kobbie Mainoo. Paul Scholes must have absolutely loved what he saw from Manchester United on Saturday, as he's sent a few messages. Saturday saw Manchester United close out the season in the best possible way, beating Manchester City at Wembley and lifting the FA Cup. It was an incredible day and will have sent the fanbase into the summer happy, making up in part for what was a pretty bad campaign. The celebrations on the pitch after the game were wonderful, and it's exactly what Erik deserved after how much he's had to deal with this season. After the game, Paul Scholes took to his Instagram with a message on his story for Sofian Amrabat, and now he's sent someone else a message. Paul Scholes reacts to Kobbie Mainoo comparisons. If there's one former United player that Kobbie Mainoo is consistently compared with, it's the legendary midfielder Scholes. The pair have some similarities, both being excellent midfielders, ahead of the curve and originating from the United Academy, but Scholes has now sent a message to people making those comparisons. Here's what he had to say. Read a few comparisons between me and this kid last week. Don't waste your time. He is 10 times the player I was at 19. Just love the way he receives the ball, the calmness, the awareness of what's around him, and of course big goals in big games. This boy is special, and he's a red latest. This is incredibly high praise from a club legend, potentially the highest praise Mainoo could get considering he idolizes the former United number 8. A first of many for Kobbie Mainoo at Manchester United. At 19, Mainoo has now won his first piece of silverware for Manchester United, and we hope he gets addicted to winning trophies, just like Scholes and his generation did. Despite a subpar season, there is something about United at the moment which feels like it's on the cusp of something special. With talented youngsters like Mainoo and his partner in crime Alejandro Garnacho at the club, things are destined to improve, with both being potentially world-class and also United through and through, it seems. While Mainoo may be better than a 19-year-old Scholes, he'll be desperate to not let this cup win be the peak and instead lead the charge of bringing United to the pinnacle of the sport once again. Wayne Rooney hails Manchester United wonderkid Kobbie Mainoo for FA Cup final display. Man United midfielder Kobbie Mainoo enjoyed a brilliant performance in his first ever FA Cup final against Manchester City at Wembley Stadium. Manchester United legend Wayne Rooney and Match of the Day presenter Gary Lineker have hailed the performance of midfielder Kobbie Mainoo during the FA Cup final vs Manchester City. The teenager broke into the first team in November after suffering an injury during the pre-season trip of the USA. However, since being introduced, the Stockport-born midfielder has been a revelation for United and bagged his first FA Cup final goal on Saturday afternoon. Following Alejandro Garnacho opening the scoring for United, Mainoo bagged the second with an expert finish past the helpless Stefan Ortega. In the BBC studio at half-time, both Rooney and Lineker were quick to sing the praises of the midfielder. Mainoo, Kobbie Mainoo, for such a young lad, take his goal out of it. The composure he has shown on the ball for such a young lad has been excellent, Rooney began. Incredible. It's so good to see a player from the academy coming through and dictating the games for Manchester United. He's had some moments when he's struggled as well since he's been in the first team, but I think this afternoon he's been absolutely brilliant. You look at his composure on the ball, little passes, little 1-2s, playing people in behind, I think he's been incredible. Lineker was quick to agree with his colleague, adding, I saw him playing for England against Belgium. I was so impressed by his debut. Was he 19? Mainoo has been named in England's 33-man provisional squad for the European Championships next month. He made his debut for the national team during the last international break in March. As it stands, Manchester United will join Tottenham in the Europa League next season and Newcastle will miss out on Europe. But, there's an awful long way to go. Disallowed goal. Man City 0-1 Man United. Manchester United have the ball in the back of the net again. Marcus Rashford turning in from Alejandro Garnacho's square ball, but the flag goes up. Garnacho was just offside, incredibly tight offside. Alejandro Garnacho tries his very best to beat the offside trap, but he's just offside though. A good ball across and a good finish as well, Alan Shearer. Former England and Newcastle striker on BBC One GOAL, Man City 0-2 Man United. Kobbie Mainoo. Wow. What a lovely goal. Manchester United are just brimming with confidence and they work the ball out to Alejandro Garnacho on the right. He strides towards the box, feeds Bruno Fernandes, who cleverly spots Kobbie Mainoo with a first-time ball and Mainoo finishes clinically. Manchester United are flying, bedlam at one end of Wembley. Stunned silence at the other. A reminder that United finished 31 points behind City in the league. City won't panic. Man City 0-2 Man United. It's brilliant from United with the way that they have set up in regard to the patient levels and concentration. City won't panic, they'll get the ball and dominate possession, creating chances, expecting to get back in it. Man City 0-2 Man United. Pep Guardiola is frantically waving his arms and shouting instructions from the touchline. He is not happy, and understandably so. Manchester City have been several levels below their best. A proper box-to-box performance from Manchester United's two goal scorers. This is the combined touch map of Alejandro Garnacho and Kobbie Mainoo. They are attacking left to right, brilliant. Man City 0-2 Man United. Never mind the double-double, it's a Manchester United first half double. It's the other Stockport footballing wonder. Not Phil Foden today so far. It's Kobbie Mainoo's moment. At 19 years old he scores in the cup final. And take a bow, Bruno Fernandes. Suddenly, lots of red seats in the Manchester City end. Kobbie Mainoo's goal sparked an early rush for half-time refreshments. Is this the best 45 minutes of Manchester United's season? Man City 0-2 Man United. In Kobbie Mainoo and Alejandro Garnacho, this is the first FA Cup final to see two different teenagers score. Mainoo is the first English teenager